Welcome everybody to the world's best podcast. As long as that you will see today, as long as it's the only one that you've seen today, um, then I'm not lying, right? Okay. Listen, I'm already off to a bad start. Um, I wanted to get through some points. It's just an intro. Hopefully, I could keep it going. I would definitely try to, especially since I want this podcast to be centered around, uh, God, sports, pretty much all my interests I'm gonna put into this podcast. So one day I might be talking about um God, I might be talking about Barcelona, which is my favorite club. Um and then the other day I might be talking about what happened yesterday, right? Like you never know, you know. Um so yeah, the first thing I want to point is a big thing in my life, which is God, is Jesus Christ. And I wanted to put a big focus on that because I want that to be known. If you're gonna be watching me, my channel, I am big on Jesus Christ. I am a good follower. I've had doubts in the past. When what mainly when I was a child, I used to see it as a fairy tale at times, and what helped me through it was I used to try to match. I guess match the book of the Bible to our world, or vice versa, because it doesn't seem like it's the same world until you actually read it like it is, right? Because there's so many miracles, so many things that you don't think you see nowadays, or that you don't see nowadays, and you're like, oh man, that's like a whole different realm from where we're at. But no, the Bible speaks of about certain countries and certain things, and for me, I started looking up like stuff from the biggest, what's it called, from the biggest stories of the Bible, which is the ones I know, so the ones I knew, of course, and that was the Ark, Moses, Noah's Ark, excuse me, the parting of the sea, the what's it called, the Mount Sinai, stuff like that, a lot of people know about, and I saw that same stuff. I saw it in our world being discovered. For example, Noah's Ark. Some people believe that it was already discovered because it was the same measurements that is said in the Bible, same places that it was said to be at in the Bible. Not just the Noah's Ark, but also Mount Sinai, everything else, and just left a lot of proof for me. And another thing that really helped was seeing how God worked in my life, and that was even a greater thing for me because he helped me a lot, and I don't want to get too into that right now. I'm not very well spoken to be able to speak about my testimony, all that type of stuff, but it is something I want to get out there sooner or later. Now we're gonna go about what this podcast is gonna be like. I'm pretty sure I already said something around this line. It's gonna be about God, about sports, about pretty much anything that I feel like speaking about. Forgive the way I said it, but that is what I'm want this to be. Um, I want to speak about like my favorite teams, man. I'm a guy that loves sports. Like I enjoy watching sports, and not just like one type of sports. Like I like every type of sport, man. Listen, I'm a big soccer fan. I'm saying soccer because this is I'm speaking in English, and I know a lot of people just call it soccer. But for my peeps that wanna say how it is, because it is football. All right, you hit it with your foot, man. Just learn how to. Why? Okay, why not? Okay, shut up. I'm a big Barcelona supporter. Like I love Barcelona. It's my favorite club to watch. Of course, lately it's been difficult, but it's one of those things that you made a decision when you were young, and it's something that sticks with you throughout your whole life. That's pretty much what Barcelona is for me. And honestly, I don't regret it. It's fun supporting them. It sucks a lot of times, especially lately, but it's fun, man. And it's fun having soccer debates about who's the greatest of all time in soccer, and who is the better club, who is this and that. I enjoy those conversations. Okay, I enjoy that. Um, Now, at a country level, I would love to support Cuba, but of course, if you guys know what's going on in Cuba, um, it's not going to really work, right? I can't really even support them. I think they're in CONCACAF B tier now, so that's pretty good. But at the end of the day, supporting them just means I'm going to be supporting the government. It's not something I want. So I try to support teams like Spain, Brazil, Argentina, just teams that I enjoyed watching when I was in Cuba. When I was younger, we used to have this. My brother and I, we used to have this CD filled with like highlights and stuff like that. So we used to have like highlights of mainly like Ronaldinho playing, and that brought so much excitement to whenever I play football because I enjoyed playing it, man. I try to be more like him, doing the skills and I used to watch Roberto Carlos too, his famous free kick and his famous goals that he will have, and we would try to curve the ball like him. Like in Cuba, we didn't have a net. We used to play like in our yard, and we used to try to we used to say we kick it con efecto, hacer echar tiro con efecto, which is just shoot the ball with effect. Which when you shoot the ball and it goes, you know, like that. And we used to love watching those highlights and even street we I think we had a street guy street dribbler. What is that? What they're called? Where he would just dribble and do some crazy dribbles, and it was really fun. And also, we would watch the World Cup whenever it came around. We would watch a lot of football related things, and it's something that I stuck by. I've always enjoyed watching football. And now, saying football, going to my next sport that I want to speak about, it's American football. I'm a big Bucks guy. I try to support them. When I first started watching football, I'm not into college, by the way. It's not something I'm not interested by. It's just something I've never gotten into. But when I started watching football, my first ever game that I've seen was Super Bowl 50, was it? I forgot what Super Bowl was, 40 something. It was Seahawks versus Broncos, and at that time everybody in my school was saying, "Oh, who are you going for? Who are you going for? Seahawks, Broncos?" I didn't know anything about that, and I thought I'd just say something out of the blue, and I said Broncos. Right? That's in my school. But then at home, I was like telling, the a family member of mine, I was like, "Hey man, I think the Seahawks gonna win." And of course, he knows about football, and I think he was saying the Broncos, but I didn't want to say the Broncos because I wanted to like prove him wrong. Oh no, I think, hold up, who was I going for? I think I was going for the Seahawks. I enjoy watching the Seahawks, or I might have told him I was going for the Broncos. I don't remember it too well. Regardless, after that game, I started going for the Seahawks. I enjoy watching the Seahawks play just because Marshawn Lynch, my favorite running back of all time. The way he ran the ball was amazing. Um, and I used to go for them, somewhat. Now I wasn't really like still watching football at the time, but when I really started getting into football, it's something about me and poverty teams, man, because I just be choosing them. I chose the Buccaneers, and of course we had Jameis Winston for the longest. We had that going on, and yeah, it was big. It was big. I was in a fantasy football league where I am. I'm still unsure on what's going to happen with my future, but we used to have pretty much debates every single like week about Jameis Winston and whether he was bad or good, and it was just fun to speak about that stuff. Um, then moving on to the next sport. Oh yeah, wait, hold up. And when Brady came over here, I was one of the biggest not fans of that move. I wasn't really a big on that. I'm glad he came. Changed up his image a lot. Cause I was never a big Brady fan. I never enjoyed watching Brady because he will always win. He will always win, and I will always he will always be in Super Bowls, and I usually be going against him, and the sucker would just pull off a win in the worst, like in the weirdest times. Like, listen, man, it was bad. Anyways, moving on to the next sport, baseball. Lately, I've been getting into baseball a little bit more. Still not big on baseball too much. Like I enjoy it. I enjoy playing. I enjoy watching it. I really don't dedicate the time to follow it more. I love the Rays. I'm a big Rays guy. Whenever I do try to watch it, I always try to keep up with their scores, see at least how they're doing. A sport I'm not too big on is NHL hockey. I'm not a big hockey guy, but I support the Lightnings. Um, Now going on to the other sport is basketball. Now basketball, I used to be pretty big in. Like I used to enjoy watching basketball a lot. Lately it's not the same. Now I could be saying this because it's just basketball hasn't been hitting that much for me lately, or because I'm a Bulls fan and we don't really see basketball too much. We just see a lot of men just shooting shots and being inconsistent. I don't think that's basketball. Well, it is basketball, but it's terrible basketball. So can you blame me? You know, listen, man. I support them, but I'm still real. Like I'm gonna say that they're bad when they're bad. I'm not those guys that are like, oh no, they're doing all right, man. They're doing good, this and that. Like, no, they pretty much suck. Um, so yeah, man. Those are the teams that I support. Um, yes, here first. Those teams will not be changing. Hopefully, I don't. I've been sticking to them for the longest, man. I don't think I ever will. Um. Now, what am I going to talk about? The next thing, next couple of sports that I enjoy, which aren't team sports, they're more um one-on-one sports, combat sports, if you want to call it that, because they are combat. Of course, MMA. So I try to watch UFC every now and then. I enjoy watching UFC. I love seeing the arts and parts of that. But I'm a big boxing fan. I don't want to say big boxing fan because there's big boxing fans that know every freaking fighter, and they will be able to name you like, oh, this guy's pretty good and he's up and coming. He only has like 3 or 4 fights. Like, I'm not that guy. I'm a guy that enjoys watching good fights, and some fighters I support is I try to support any Cuban. So I think there's a Cuban guy fighting soon. I think it's Monel Jr. I forgot his name. He's fighting soon though. Like I said, I enjoy watching boxing. I enjoy like hitting the bag. I enjoy sparring stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I just like watching boxing. And honestly, I just like watching the big fights or like the yeah, just the big fights really. Cause there's no small fight really that boxer that we know. Like, hey man, I enjoy watching certain fights. Like I watched the Garcia fights, the last two of them. The one that he lost against Tank, and of course the one that he beat Devin Haney. That was a pretty good fight, man. I'm glad the way it went. It was kind of cool seeing what happened. Because everybody thought Ryan was gonna lose. I thought Ryan was gonna lose. I was going for Ryan, but I thought he was gonna lose. You know, and it was good seeing that. Also, that one Cuban guy, man, Ugas. Fire guy, firefighter. Well, not I don't even want to say that because he's not the greatest fighter. He's not even top 10, honestly. He's not top 20, I don't even think. But seeing that last the last title fight that he had, that I watched at least, was against Pacquiao, and seeing him beat Pacquiao, even though Pacquiao was really old, and it was pretty cool to watch. It was pretty nice. It's amazing. So yeah, man. And then of course UFC. I watch UFC. Like I said earlier, I like fighting. It's fun. I think it's fun seeing it more than it is being in it. But it's also entertaining and interesting to me. You know. Um, what's his name that fought recently? Portier, bro. The way he was defending those takedowns against Makachev. Is that his name? Islam Makachev. Yes. Yes. I'm sorry, man. Listen, man. Amazing, bro. Amazing. I just want to see another good wrestler fight him so he can beat him. So he can beat Makachev, man. Because Makachev, he's a good fighter. I give him that, and that's about it. I don't really know much about him. He's a very quiet guy, which I respect. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's so many fighters I enjoy watching, and Honestly, we got a big card coming up. It's Michael Chandler versus Connor, which should be pretty good. Hopefully, I can watch that. And yeah, man, hopefully I can watch that, man. Honestly, because I haven't seen, well, nobody we really have seen Connor fighting in a while, man. And what has it been, like 2.5 years or 1.5 year? Ever since he fought Porter, and I think he broke his leg or messed up a nerve. I think he broke his leg. Yeah, man. And with Connor, it's weird because nowadays, everybody knows he's got a crap load of money. So we don't want to say that. What leads us to say is that he doesn't really enjoy the sport like that. Like he doesn't really want to keep fighting, and a lot of people are actually speculating that he's gonna drop out of this fight because he didn't show up for the press conference, and he didn't even really put an excuse for that or give us a reasoning really. Um, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I hope he performs well. I really do want to see Portier versus Connor again, just as a you know a follower of the sport. I want to see that happen. I think decisive fight is what we need because technical win is good, man. But I mean it counts. But what we want to see is a decisive win. Dustin Poirier did not beat McGregor the last time they fought. McGregor lost to himself, lost to his own body, really. So I want to see that happen. I will also like to see. Who would I like to see? I would like to see John Jones fight again. Obviously, of course, he's one of my favorite fighters of all time. Um, who else, man? Topuria. I want to see him fight. I would like to see a fight between Topuria and Makachev. I think Topuria actually it will be pretty close because Topuria's a better striker in my opinion. And on the ground, it's as close as it can get, but not really because you got Makachev who's so in another league, man. I mean, against Porter, he showed that not really, but even when he got him on the ground, I think it was on round number one, you could tell that he was like, "All right, buddy, all right, yeah, all right." This guy can control when you're down here. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, man. It's kind of weird. Moving on from the fight scene and going to a different scene. I enjoy cars. I, I, I'm not very big in knowledge in a lot of things, but I would love to know more about cars. I enjoy cars. One of my favorite cars is the R34 GTR, of course, and the Supra, just because it's Fast and Furious, really, and video games that I used to grow up playing with. I like the older cars more than the newer cars. Like if you were to tell me these two cars, let's say for example, a Mach 4 Supra and I don't know, man. I don't want to say Lamborghini Gallardo because I don't know what I would choose. But I feel like those older cars to me resonate better. Like I enjoy those older cars better. Old JDM. I enjoy older muscle cars. At least the way that their bodies were like the chassis, not the chassis, their body look just muscly, man. That's how a muscle car is. And then you look at these 5.0 Mustangs or whatever it is, and you see what they look like. To me, when I first seen the newer 5.0 Mustangs, I think it was from 2020 and to now. To me, that doesn't look really like a muscle car. Like the GTS were the last that I can remember right now at the top of my head. The last really good looking muscle cars because you got the Dodges. They don't look. I don't know. They don't look like the muscle cars really. Like to me, they look like boats. Of course, that's the ongoing joke for them. But yeah, they're just heavy cars, man. They do have a lot of power. Especially the newer ones like the Hellcats, the Scat Packs, all of them. They carry a lot of power. But it's not the same, man. It's not the same. I enjoy the older cars. I don't know. I enjoy their look, their style a lot more than the newer ones. Unless we're talking like supercars, okay? I'm big on F1 too, by the way, Formula One. Forgot to say that. I enjoy rooting for McLaren. I try to go for McLaren, but buy all the way. Um, I don't know. It's just my favorite team, man. And I'm glad that they're doing good right now. They're doing pretty good. Lando, of course, he won Miami GP. I was happy for him. I was able to watch I think half of the race, the last half of the race, because I was working. And when I got home, I started watching it. It was pretty cool. And I was telling my brother, what's crazy is I told my brother that I think it was during like practice, and I think Lando was like having some good pace, some good speed, and I told him, "Hey man, Lando's gonna win this weekend." I didn't think much of it. I had a feeling, but I didn't think much of it. And then he did win. I mean, won, and it was just amazing, man. The safety car helped, but still, he won, man. He won. He was pulling away from Max Verstappen, bro. That's the first time we've seen that, okay, in so long. And once he did that, it was what was it? Was it Monaco just now that Charles won, which is another like it's such another story filler, like heart filler, I guess, if that's the right way to say it. Because man, you see these guys win their first race and their home race, which is just it's good. It's good for the sport. It's good for the sport to see more competition. And they just released a lot of new information, by the way, FIA about the cars for next year. It's gonna be much smaller cars. Of course they're gonna be faster, but I don't enjoy watching. I don't enjoy the fact that it's going more towards the electric side, more like a Formula One or whatever that division is called, because nobody enjoys watching that division. It's like that, man. It's getting more to that, and it's still, of course, a gas fuel engine. I think. I don't even know. I'm guessing it is, man. But my point is, it's gonna be more focused around the electronics side of it. Like I know battery. I think is gonna be much easier to gain in this coming up 2026 season, whenever it does happen, the new engine regulations. But yeah, it's it's just gonna be weird. It's gonna be annoying. It's gonna be fast though, so it's still gonna be entertaining. And hopefully we get some good racing and not just like a one team thing. And if it is gonna be a one team thing, then hopefully it's McLaren. Now I would love to see a McLaren versus Red Bull versus Ferrari versus Merc competition for the top spot. Shoot, even if someone like Williams, who used to be a rival for McLaren, and they're still technically rivals, I think. I don't even know anymore. If they could somehow match the speed of the top guys, it would be fun, and not just the speed, the dynamics, aerodynamics, all that stuff. It will be amazing to watch because man, I love rivalries, and I love rivalries in sport. Those are just great things. Like that's why I enjoy a lot of the sports that I enjoy. I love watching boxing because it's two men that just want to beat each other up. I like watching um American football because we don't like the Saints. I don't like the Saints. I wanna uh, uh. The Saints, like the Saints suck. They suck. I'm like Charles Barkley with San Antonio with the Saints. Who wants to go there? And the same thing for football or soccer for Americans. You know, Barcelona, Real Madrid, El Clásico, and I do support other teams from other leagues, but when it comes to like the team I support the most, it is Barcelona. In England, I'm like iffy. Um, I go by seasons. Like this season, like I kind of wanted to see like a championship battle, which I did see. Um, and of course, City won. I'm not mad at that. I'm glad they won because it's Pep Guardiola, man. He's a Barcelona legend. But at the same time, I kind of wanted Arsenal to do something. Just because they've been doing pretty good the last two seasons, and it's kind of cool to see them doing good again. Or you can have somebody like Leicester City, not Leicester City, excuse me. I thought of LFC, and I for some reason thought of Leicester City. I was thinking about Liverpool. Like seeing Liverpool doing good would have been amazing in their in Klopp's final season. It would have been fire. I would have enjoyed it. Going to Germany, Bundesliga, fire, fire season this season, and hilarious by the way, hilarious. You got a guy in Harry Kane that leaves one of the most underperforming teams in whole of England, and he goes to the most successful club ever in Bayern Munich. Now this club is a club that they always win at least one trophy, and that trophy is usually, at least for the past 10 years, except for this last season, of course, the Bundesliga title. They win at least one title, and at least they win the league. Okay, Hurricane goes there and they lose everything. They go trophyless this season. You know how hilarious that is? That's so messed up, and I feel bad for Harry Kane, bro. I really do want him to get one trophy and let it be a good one. Like, don't let it be like, some some um some smaller trophy like around his league. Forgot what they're called, but they have a name. But a league trophy, I'll call it that for now. Domestic trophy? Is that what it's called? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Like, don't let it be that. Let it be like a Champions League or something. And I don't want Bayern Munich to win a Champions League, but Harry Kane. I enjoy watching Dortmund fans because they're just so rowdy, bro. They're like, I think they're my favorite fans to see on the screen. Like they're just so hectic. They do the craziest things and they keep it controlled. Like not like I think it's Greek fans or Irideville fans who will just go crazy and start burning things. But I enjoy watching the football played over there as well. Sometimes I don't really keep up with them that much. But it was good seeing Xavi Alonso's Bayern Leverkusen go undefeated. That's badass, bro. That's freaking crazy and crazy to see and scary because I do believe that Xavi Alonso will go to Madrid soon. I do believe that. And what other league am I missing? What other league? What other league? Italy, of course. I mean, me personally, I go for AC Milan whenever I have a chance to go for somebody over there. AC Milan because of Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho went to AC Milan. He also went to PSG, but I don't like PSG. That's a team I do not like. Um, I feel like OL Olympics. I cannot. I don't want to go for any team in that league yet, because I don't really know much about that or the history. I know PSG have been just going crazy the past couple years because since they got that Habibi money, um, that oil money, how everybody says it. Same for Manchester City, but that's not here, neither here nor there. Okay, I don't like PSG. That's simple as that. I just don't enjoy watching their football. Now next season, I got a lot of pain on my plate because of course, you guys saw Mbappe went to Madrid finally. We've been seeing this for the past how many years, and it finally happened now. I'm sorry, man. That is scary. That is very scary. Okay, very very scary. Nobody wants to see that. I don't. As a Barcelona fan, I do not want to see that. But but history in sports has a tend to repeat itself. We've seen this happen in the past. We've seen Real Madrid forming the Galáctico and some little midget from Rosario, Argentina, coming out and destroying them. Now, I don't think we have anybody that will ever, not ever, that will get close to that level soon. But we do have some hope. That's about it. That's about it, man. I mean, you can say what every Barcelona fan wants to happen, which even I wanted to happen. I want Lamine Yamal to be the next guy. I want him to be the next big thing, the next Messi, Ronaldo, that standing, that level. But is he gonna get there? We thought the same of Ansu Fati. We thought the same of Bojan. We thought the same of a lot of different players that just didn't get there. It's not you, it's me. It's It's not. It's not. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. Listen, how you doing? It's gonna be a difficult season to watch, and that's what I'm saying right now. But you never know because Barcelona do have a good team. They have a great team actually. They just don't all like to play the same type of football, which is understandable because you're in a league that's very possession based with who was Xavi, who was the coach, who tries to go under the same tactics as Pep or similar tactics, that possession style football. That I don't want to say tiki taka because there was nothing tiki taka about that style of football, but it was possession and spacing, and it's just a weird football to play, especially with a lot of people that just don't want to play that football. Now we're gonna have Hansi Flick, which is something that gets us fans excited. Um, just because you never know, man. You're hoping for the best now at this point. You let Xavi go after letting him after begging him to stay, and that's humiliating. A club legend. That's one, and two is now we got a new guy. The new guy, he's Rocky. A lot of Barcelona fans they remember the good times when he was in Bayern Munich, when they beat us 8-2. When they were rolling through things, when he won a sextuple. And those are good times for him, of course, not for us Barca fans. But at the same time, you look at his track record, it's not the best, man. Of course, he did has a lot of success in Bayern Munich. He didn't have a lot of success in the national team. He didn't have really a lot of success when he coached by himself, besides in Munich. And Bayern Munich is one of the biggest teams in the world, and especially when he was on it, when he was the leading guy over there, the manager, it was one of the best teams of all time. One of the greatest teams at the time, of course, at least. And now him going to a struggling Barcelona, I just don't know if he's gonna be the guy to get us there. I have a lot of doubt for him, but I do hope that he is the one that gets us to that level, being able to compete for a Champions League for multiple trophies or at least a trophy, man. Hey, man, I would love to have Barcelona competing for every trophy. But with our injuries, man, and our injury-prone players, it's difficult. It's difficult. I just hope the tactics are good with this new coach, Hansi Flick. Hopefully, the mentality changes because at some point in the seasons, Barcelona was playing like the best team in the world, and then they just went to being bad, right? It's like how do you do that so fast and so effortlessly? You just get worse. Like I don't know. It's not right. I do want to see the team get better. Hopefully, we can compete for a champions. Not a big fan of the new Champions League new format. I think why would you fix something that isn't even broken? Why would you do that? It's not right to me. And honestly, I don't think it's right to anybody that I've known. Like they were mad about the Supercopa. I mean, about the Super League, excuse me, because it was gonna take their money away from them, and it wasn't because of the football at all, because they're pretty much doing the same format that they were trying to do for the Super League. I mean, Super League. It's crazy to me, and it's not right. It's not. I don't know. It's a bad format, and it's a lot more games for teams that already are playing a lot of games. That you see a lot of injuries already, man. You're gonna run these players to the ground, and then football is gonna look bad. It's just gonna look bad. And then you're gonna have teams. It's gonna be a depth game. What teams have the most depth in their bench? That's gonna be two teams that I can think of right now. You guys might pull one out. Let me know. But I think only two teams got that type of depth to be able to do that, and that is Manchester City, and of course Real Madrid. I mean, they literally have two starting midfielder completely different midfielders, if that makes sense. They have three different starting midfielders, two different starting midfielders. Words are difficult at times. Okay, and they just have a good team all around, both of those teams, and it's something that only they have that. Only those two teams that I could think of right now have that. The next closest ones will be probably a team like I was gonna say a team like Barcelona, but with our injuries, we're not a normal team when it comes to injuries. Okay, our whole team could get hurt, like it did the past 2 seasons. Like seven of our players, of our starters, at some point in the last 2 seasons were out with injuries. It is what it is. Uh, I'm glad y'all see some of where my mind is. I could really go ahead and ramble for hours and hours and hours, but I didn't want to make this first episode too long, and I'm already almost at the 40-minute mark. I'm 5 minutes away from it. I'm going to leave it there. Hope you guys, enjoyed this. If you want to come on, just leave me a comment. We can talk sports. We can talk God. We can talk life. Anything. You tell me. All right. Hope you guys did enjoy this. I love y'all, man. And also help me find a name for this pod, man. Write it down. I'm just gonna put podcast number one, I think, for this one. And y'all tell me down there what y'all think, man. What is the name for this? What do you want to see me talk about? What is something that you liked about it? What is something that you didn't like about this podcast? I know I'm really messy and all over the place, so no, that's probably one. This right here is my boy Felipe. He's the flooring extension cord. And yeah, man, you guys see me. I'm just doing this from my bedroom. That's my bed right there. I'm grateful that I have that. I got this my fan, number one fan. I actually got another fan you guys can't see. It's off the screen. I got a messy bed right now that you guys can't see. Thank God. Uh, and then of course that stuff right there. I love y'all, man. God bless y'all. I hope y'all enjoy this. Hopefully we get all enjoy this podcast and go on this journey. And I ask God to guide me through it, okay? Love y'all. And yeah, man. Oh, this is awkward. This is very awkward. This is very awkward. I did not click on it. Okay.